My girlfriend, 28F, and I, 29M, have been together for almost 3 years. 99% of the time, we're great. She's funny and smart and we have a lot of shared interests. But every time we visit her family I start doubting everything. They are very wealthy, which by itself is not a bad thing, but they're also very fixated on being rich and have a habit of placing the monetary value of things, and people, over everything else. I come from a very middle-class background. I have a good education and a decent career that I really enjoy, but I'm definitely not rich. Because of this, they view me as a loser. For example, yesterday we made the 2-hour drive to her parents in my newish Honda. When we got there, her mom immediately ordered me to park the car behind the house so the neighbors wouldn't see it. She was furious we didn't bring GF's Land Rover, which they bought for her as a birthday gift this year. GF doesn't like to drive on long trips and I'm not allowed to drive the Land Rover, per her parents, so we brought my Honda. GF's dad has never spoken to me directly. Even when she introduced me the first time, he turned to her and said, "What does he do?" So we went in the house and I gave her dad the usual, "Hi, Merry Christmas," and he gave me the usual disinterested glance. One more example, last year I made the mistake of bringing a bottle of wine. It was a $25 bottle, which was pricey for me, and I even had the wine store lady help me pick it out. GF's mom told me to put it in the kitchen, they didn't open it while we were there, and she later admitted to GF they'd regifted it to their housekeeper because it was gas station hooch. We managed to get through the day yesterday without much drama except the car thing, which I'd normally consider a win. But today I keep thinking about the whole situation with her family and wondering if I'm really willing to deal with these people for the rest of my life. GF and I have tossed around the possibility of getting married more than once, but I know they'll never accept me. If we get married I'll have to see them a lot more than once a year. GF has given up trying to defend me to her parents and just ignores their BS most of the time, but I can tell it bothers her too. They bankroll a big chunk of her lifestyle and I think she's worried they'll cut her off if she pushes too hard. They've threatened to over other things. So, not to sound like a jerk, but am I wasting my time? Is this relationship doomed? GF always tells me she doesn't care what her family thinks, but I'm not sure that's true. She always tries to downplay how garbage they are to me. But I know I'll never be good enough for them, even if I'm good enough for her. Update. I posted a few days ago on a throwaway account thinking it probably wouldn't go anywhere but hoping a few more experienced internet strangers might give me some insight. It got some attention and there was some solid advice and a lot of perspective on the whole situation and I was like, okay, that was enlightening, and went on with my day. GF was working that night so there wasn't much to do with all that info at the time, and I fell asleep while attempting to formulate my side of the big talk. Little did I know that post blew up overnight and made the front page and GF saw it. I didn't give any names/locations, but there was enough specific information that she had no trouble figuring out it was me. So Thursday, while at work and still unaware of all this, I got a dreaded "we need to talk" text. Yep, all caps. And I was like, Velp, I'm dead. She was feeling hurt and angry when she sent that text, but she said she had time to read through some of the comments and think about things and she wasn't as upset when she came to my apartment later. She brought food. Still, she said I had no right to tell the whole internet about our relationship problems, and I agreed/apologized. She knows I'm writing this update and she's going to read it before I post, the reason for that being she admitted the internet actually made some good points regarding our relationship problems. We talked for a long time Thursday night. She said she knows her parents treat people like garbage and that they control her and her siblings with money. It's partially a cultural thing, according to her. GF was born and raised in the US but her parents grew up rich in a different country and moved here a long time ago. She said they had a hard time assimilating with upper-class Americans and flaunt their wealth because they're socially insecure. GF also implied that kind behavior was a lot more acceptable in their home country in the 1980s and they never changed. She grew up seeing them act that way and, at least when she was younger, thought it was normal. On top of that, GF's mom was/is emotionally and physically abusive. She said her mom used to slap her for talking back and once cut up all of GF's clothes in bedding after an argument over her going out with some high school friends. GF said she's still afraid of her mom and has a hard time standing up to her. She also got very little affection from her parents growing up. It seems like that was all replaced with material things. So, to her, being cut off from her family financially is the same as being cut off emotionally. All that being said, GF doesn't expect me to visit her parents again. She was very apologetic about how they treated me and also about not calling them out. She was really hurt that I said I thought I was wasting my time in the earlier post and I said I was sorry, and I am. I was still raging a little when I wrote that. I asked her about maybe letting her parents cut her off financially and living on her own. It wouldn't mean she has to go no contact, but their relationship would be based on something other than money. We've been talking about moving in together for a while now and she actually suggested she move out of her townhouse, that her family pays for, and into my apartment. I'm totally fine this. We've been together for almost 3 years and I think we would have moved in together a while ago if her parents weren't so against it. She's really nervous about being on her own financially, but she's willing to try it. We spent hours yesterday going through her finances and coming up with a budget. It's going to be a big change in how she lives and thinks about things. I'm managing my expectations as far as spending is concerned. No one can change their habits overnight. We're not combining our finances or putting her name on the lease. The plan for now is to split the cost of rent and utilities, and she asked me to put her on an allowance for spending her own money. She also gave me the credit cards her parents pay for and told me to hide them. It's weird to me to have this much control over another person's finances. We're going to give it until my lease is up in March. My apartment is a little small for both of us and all our stuff, and then, assuming all this works out, we'll look for a place to officially live together. She isn't going to tell her parents right away, but she promised she will before March.
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. It really helps the channel grow. Thanks for listening to Hidden Thread Teller. See you in the next one.